Ahura Mazda bless you.
Thank you for the follow, and apologies, but I think one of our players may have slept in a little bit here. We'll be with you in just a minute.
Glory to the Empire!
Thank you for the subscribe, Z01 Dayton. And yeah, apologies for the no activity just yet. We're going to get things going soon, hopefully. Yeah, thank you for the 3-month subscription, Dayton. If Crimson isn't back isn't here in about 5 minutes, I'm going to organise another game, and we're going to play that out instead. Alright guys, so we've got Carnage filling in for Crimson Cantab, who unfortunately I think has slept in on us. He's dotted us today. I am heartbroken. Apologies about the 20-minute wait. We are going, and we're getting a game on Wildwoods between Carnage and Hoover, so you guys better be keen for this one. Carnage is actually on his Norse today, Hoover on his Greeks. So spawning as the light blue Greek player today, we have Hoover. And spawning as the yellow Norse player today, we have Carnage. And being on Wildwoods, they've got a bit of space to work with on this map. There's this big wood line in the middle, which sort of means that what seems to be a fairly short to moderate rush distance here is actually quite large. In fact, it's already quite a large map. It's actually like a moderate rush distance to begin with. So, yeah, truth be told, it's a fairly hefty macro map for the most part. It seems as though both players falling into that path with their double storehouse openings. For Hoover actually taking a quick hunting dogs here, so I like this from him. It's obviously putting him behind a little bit on score at the moment. Carnage pulling ahead in terms of the wood, but Hoover should be able to bounce back, considering he can basically sit at 4 villages rather than 5. Or if he goes to 5, he can pull the 5th off after a little while. Whereas Carnage is going to have to gather a little bit more food out of the hunt. And as the game progresses, obviously Hoover's going to benefit more and more out of that technology. His hunt is actually going to stick around a bit longer, as it gives conservation to your food gatherers as well. Really, really useful. So already both players gathering stone. Going to progress towards their age 2 before they do anything. So as for who's going to be the aggressor with the cavalry, well, I don't bloody know. And will we potentially see a non-cavalry based push here, or a mixed army push out of other player early on? Well, I also don't know. We're going to have to wait and see there. Hoover a little bit faster on the age up. Carnage has actually popped out another villager behind it. So Hoover now going for a bit of scout on Carnage's base. Carnage already going for the second TC. Getting his Hanser on the way as well. He'll be going for his second town centre as well. And he's hitting Picker's Gloves too, so he's already invested pretty heavily in food tax. He's got Handsaw too. So both players with the TC that's sort of moderately safe and also in danger. It's outside of the other one, and there's not really an overlap of the TC fire at all. Kind of just perhaps a little bit more isolated than the Hoovers, but it's also right on top of a pack of deer, so it's very useful for him. He might transition into the hunting dogs tech soon. Hoover. Throwing down the barracks first. He wants to be able to defend against any early raiders from Carnage. Carnage, in the meanwhile, opening with the stables. So we see raiders first from him. Why is there a single deer there? Recon, please! Recon, please! What is this? Nah, I'm just kidding, man. Anyway. Barracks is finishing up. The sable's not far off. Second stable's on the way for Carnage. For Hoover. For now, just a single barracks. He probably doesn't want to throw down a range, knowing that Carnage is gonna have the raiders out first. He doesn't know about the second one yet. Carnage, in the meanwhile, is unaware that the Hoover's actually got a barracks out yet. Hoover's already seen the first raider. And it's using it to clear this hunt. So he'll probably push off 3, 4 or 5 raiders here. Probably just waiting for the third to pop out before he pushes. His range going down as well because he wants to probably hit a quick age 3 behind this, I'd say. Highly doubt he's going to make a push with raiders and slingers. I mean raiders and skirmishers. Pickaxe coming out now as well for him as well. So getting eco-techs, getting pickaxe, well, he's probably going for an age 3 oriented push, I'd say. Another barracks. Another rangers come out for the Hoover as well. Another range too. More raiders here for Carnage. It's up to 6. Hasn't actually pushed out just yet, but getting a range himself. And he's added on. He's up to 3 ranges. Post. I don't think this is to do anything cheesy with War Dogs. I think this is genuinely probably just for vision. Spearman and Spear Champ coming out now for Verhoover. He's actually playing around dogs. Okay. What are you doing, Carnage? Because whatever it is, I'm probably going to like it. Look at him. Would you give him a pat? Look at that. That's a real inviting mouth on that dog. Phenomenal scouting from these two. We can see every resource on the map. They've left no stone unturned here. It's great when you got 2 really high level players like this. They scout so well. You can see all the resources both sides of the map. It's so pretty. So Carnage's little mixed cavalry force here. This is interesting because this basically slows down the raiders to 9 speed, but at the same time it does mean that they've got these war dogs amongst them, so they can provide a bit of a buffer against spearmen. And it looks as though Carnage is going to be able to overwhelm the Hoover here with this massive dogs and raiders. The fact that some of the dogs were taking damage there is always a good sign. Oh no, I take that back. I don't think Carnage had a war dog under attack, but if they were, it still just means hits not going on the raiders from the spearmen. Ultimately that'll trade. Going in Carnage's favour. But not a terribly huge army. Dogs and raiders. But interesting style. I'm going to steal this. I'm going to play this as soon as I jump off for this cast. I'm just going to play Norse. Sorry guys. So for Hoover in the meanwhile. Add in the stables of his own. He can get Prodromos now. Well actually no he can't, Carnage just take an H3 down. So Hoover hasn't just yet. Oh, that's not good for Hoover. Using those units. This house is probably going to go down, and then the villagers are pretty exposed too. Carnage just going to just snipe a couple more Toxotes and get out. Does lose another Raider. So that's not ideal because the Raiders are actually slightly more expensive than the Toxotes. I think it's 65 versus 75 in terms of cost. But if you can trade 2 to 1 like he did earlier, that's great. That 1 population cavalry being backed up by 0 population, 25 food war dogs here. So this is like the most disposable cavalry composition in the game by a mile, and it may just sack for Hoover's market here. He's sitting in his base trying to macro. Bringing the army up now. The market's already half done. He might be able to snipe this off for Hoover. And he doesn't have a lot of wood in the bank, so this is going to hurt him because he's going to need to get Toxotes out. He's going to need to keep adding production, keep, add another market. And he's not going to be able to get that house. He's a bit too late there, but he's going to just run the rest of his army out. Like I said, he's going to hit another couple of shots, so they may be able to pick off a raider here. They do. The Wardog get picked off by the Toxotes as well. No huge loss for Carnage, like I said. Really disposable unit. Look at him, gorgeous. So Carnage has lots of horsemen and bowmen. Handful of raiders left as well. And he's just added on more stables and archery ranges. So he's brought his war dogs, what's left of his raiders and his horsemen all together now. So this time, he's really prepped to take a nice fight against pretty much anything except spearmen. He'll be really mobile as well. And the raiders don't have the base damage of the horsemen as well. So as you can see, they're tearing through buildings. Carnage's going to be able to get a bit of value out of this. Slow the Hoover down. Age 3 coming out now for Hoover, but Carnage already got his 3rd town centre up right on top of his 2nd. Upgrades wise for Hoover's finishing off his age 2 upgrades. Carnage actually still behind by an upgrade there in terms of his merely armour upgrade. But for Hoover getting shield room against Norse as well, really only useful against the bowmen. There's pretty much nothing else in the Norse arsenal, obviously other than the skirmishers, which no one builds anyway. Sorry, buddy. There's no reason other than these bowmen that you'd even need to have shield room against Norse. Or against towers, I suppose, and the fortress and static defense, town center. Hoover, nice walls here. This will keep Carnage out of that side for a good little while. So outposts going up here for Carnage. Already got some good vision of this other side of the map, just in case Hoover decides to push out. I don't think he will. Look at this population cap at the moment. That's not a good sign. He needs to get more houses out for sure, because right now Carnage sitting above 20, about 20 population above him, taking some age 3 upgrades. Okay, Hoover's starting to really try economy here. Just needs to finish a house. Does he not realise? Oh no, there we go. He's throwing them up now. A bit late on that. Let's watch first. Going up by Carnage. So Age 3 melee upgrade, about half done here for Carnage. So he's going to hit the Hoover's base once again. Mostly Horseman comps, so it's going to be hard for the Greek player to really deal with, because he can't really fight it with anything that can both catch it and fight it head on. Prodromo is going to be just as quick, but a Horseman Max will be able to fight them head on. They are a better cavalry in one-to-one trades than the Prodromos, though they are a slower unit. Only slightly faster than the War Dogs, and that's with the speed upgrade. Hoover pushing out on this side of the map, he's going to deny Carnage's vision. Over here getting 2 outposts, throwing up a watch post himself. It's a little bit of value. Carnage locked up some wood in that one too. You can always just cancel that or come back and finish it later, I suppose. Some pretty fancy gear on his civs. Look at this. No legendary on that. Noob. Hoover gonna be able to get up this watch post, I think. Carnage isn't looking, he's throwing out more production at home at the moment. So he wanders straight past the watch post. At the same time, taking one down over there. Now he's picked it off. This is perhaps not the best fight for him to engage in, because Hoover has bigger numbers here. Carnage doesn't have his full army here. A lot of it's back here at home defending. And he's taking a bit of an engagement that's not the greatest for him. The cavalry going down now, all the bowmen really exposed. Carnage microing them back, but ultimately all this is going to go down. Carnage sending all the horsemen out by themselves. Pro tip, you don't really want your fast units tied up with your slow units. At least not the ones you expect to counter with. So Carnage is rallying them straight up to the top of the map because he expects this from Hoover. He knows these guys are going to be here. So he's taking a fight he can win. Quite swiftly there. Picking off about 6 or 7 Prodromos. With relative ease, not losing a unit himself. So Hoover caught out by the fact that he just sort of played a bit predictably, in a sense that Carnage knew that he was probably going to try and counter-attack after winning a favourable trade, and so he sent the unit that was going to counter, you know, the raiding unit in the Greek arsenal. It's a good play there by Carnage. He's punished for Hoover a bit. His age 4 is coming in for Hoover. Not quite maxed out. Carnage not quite maxed out either, but he's still ahead up in population. And 93 to 79 is the village count. So Carnage actually producing a lot of villages. This is really uncommon to see. You don't see that one every day, do ya? Anyway, Hoover catching up a bit in terms of economy. I suppose he's a bit slow down in terms of his market. I do like this. Very interesting, but very cost effective. Really helps segment the market within the base. Carnage getting some Age 4 upgrades. So Alfredon coming in. This is going to prove to be a bit of a menace to everything except the Greek infantry. But then the problem is, your anti-infantry is an Age 2 unit, so it's not a really nice fight for the Greek player. So Carnage is probably going to look to try and take a fairly reasonable fight, but ultimately throw away a lot of this to mass up Alfredons behind it, I think. Or maybe just sort of throw them in just to deal with the Sarasophroi and the Prodromos. He's still probably going to need bowmen of his own. Saying that, Greek player definitely going to need to keep Toxotes in the mix. Nice fight going on here. And he's doing what he can to kill the front line and pick off cavalry before it does any damage to his back line. Looks as though Hoover has the units here to win this fight straight up. Like I said, Carnage is going to be really equipped to deal with this army for the most part. There's really only 7 units here that won't be countered by these Ulfidens, and a handful of bowmen and raiders in the mix. It's going to prove to be all Carnage really needs to add alongside this, because he can just snipe Toxotes with something that isn't going to trade evenly like the Ulfidens. He can use the bowmen to keep any infantry away from the Ulfidens, and the Ulfidens just as fast as a cavalry unit, 9 speed. Very quick, very strong counter cavalry unit. Essentially a late game spearman unit. That's faster too. So Carnage already has his age 4 damage upgrade too. Verhoover's still stuck in age 3, but he's adding his age 4 now. Caravan's going down there for Carnage, but at the same time, he's going to be able to clean this up. Verhoover's streaming this cavalry right to the end of Carnage's base. Trying to get a couple of villages now. Really nice cavalry and infantry split there by Carnage. Just in case Verhoover was going to go in. But now it looks as though he's got Verhoover on the run, and this isn't great for Verhoover because a lot of these Toxotes are going to get attacked without really getting a volley off. Now the surround coming in. Verhoover managing to make it back to his doorstep, but there's not really a front line left, and he's lost a lot of Toxotes as well. Down to just under 150 pop. Carnage basically still maxed. Units coming in from the other side to hit the stone mine. Carnage splitting the Ulfidens up. He will be repelled here, but he's also going to attempt to go for the market, but backs out at the end. Tries to go for all the villagers here, and he's running into a mostly cavalry and range composition, which is ideal for him. At the same time, he's cleaned up everything over here. Verhoover really going to be struggling to keep on top of the defense here. His score's really slipping. He's falling in population. Oh, look, caravans going down here. Most of the defensive units here for Verhoover have already fallen as well. But he's rushing in Gastrophedes, and this is terrible for him because these are really expensive units. GG is called. Verhoover taps out for game number 1. Carnage's Norse is just something else. What a demon. That was something else. Poor Verhoover. I'm glad that's not me. Alright guys, so we have the Hoover swapping Egyptians now. Carnage sticking with his Norse. Oh, okay, this is an interesting one. Like it or not, we've been given Arabia. I don't like this, you might. And so spawning as the pink player, pretty in pink. Today we have Carnage as his Norse, and as the orange Egyptian player down here, the Ranger, we got the Hoover. So we've got Arabia here. I haven't seen this one in a little while. Been pretty glad to be without it. I know Ace will be happy to see it. Arabia. Oh, this could go on all night. So the Hoover, getting the picker's gloves. Carnage. For now, no picker's gloves. Because he's taking a storehouse. He wants to get on the hunt. Surprised he hasn't gone for hunting dogs. So if he only takes advantage of this, he'd come out really far ahead of the Hoover in terms of his eco early on. The Hoover playing it really safely with picker's gloves. So the Hoover getting a lot of the sheep over his side of the map already. Carnage hasn't really been so lucky, I don't think. I don't think he's found any sheep at all. Oh, they're goats. I'm sorry. I love the way the goats jump, actually. Carnage finding some goats. And for Hoover finding what looks to be his safest hunt, unless there's one down here in the corner. So a very passive game we have ahead of us on Arabia. Until these guys actually get the town centers out. And their army production underway. Both players basically just going to go, oh, this is interesting. Wonder if Carnage is hoping to try and catch for Hoover with dogs. He needs to be quick with this though, because he needs just enough dogs to deny this. But this could be perfect for him, as long as he actually interrupts the villagers. Waiting for a second, a third. Oh no, he's going to attack. He's going to go for it. Oh my goodness, Carnage, are you going to do it? Is he going to win this one in 5 minutes? He's going to try and go for the villagers. Getting the first one. He needs to focus them down one by one, because the quicker he can cut one out, the quicker he can affect the build time. And he needs to negate the healing. But he is going to focus down the priestess. And he stops. He's streaming some more dogs now. So this is really high level, edgy seat gameplay here. Carney's going to do it with the War Dogs. He's going to get the priestess. I think Vahuva's going to finish the TC, but he's going to lose quite a few villagers here. He'll lose another one. Will he lose another? I think he's going to be able to save these guys. Yeah, he's going to be able to save these ones, but Carnage sniped quite a few villagers there. Vahuva down to 18, down to 15 villagers. Carnage on 18, and he also sniped the priestess. He's still attacking the gold miners, so he's just going to keep these dogs here, keep them active, keep denying any form of gathering here until Vahuva actually tries to sack the outpost, and in doing so he's going to be able to kill the villagers, which is rough for Vahuva. It puts him even further behind Carnage. It's been a perfectly executed cheese play with the dogs. Wonderful opening from Carnage. I've heard rumours of him doing this to Zeus and beating him in 4 minutes. Now I've gotten to see it in the flesh. So Carnage unable to completely destroy Vahuva with that, but at the same time, what cost has Vahuva gone to win that? He's lost 4 villagers out of that. The second town centre of his, not much faster than Carnage's. Lost a priestess as well, so Carnage basically really put Vahuva behind there. But yeah, several hundred resources for a commitment that, you know, really only cost him a couple of hundred. Because he went up to about 6 war dogs. 5 or 6 war dogs, and the outpost itself. So he's invested about 225 resources to get probably 500 in terms of the fact that he got 4 early villager kills, denied all that gathered time, killed a priestess as well. I mean, if it was any civ other than Egyptian, they wouldn't have had that healing there, so he'd have gotten most of those, possibly all of those villagers, and denied the TC. Being Egyptian, Vahuva's, yeah, out of pocket 100 gold once he actually forks out that second priestess, and then he's had all that delay in the villager trading time, so 27 and 24 villagers at the moment. Carnage now going in with the rest of the war dogs after streaming them around the map. He might be able to get another villager here, so this is great for him. He's got all the value he's needed to get out of these, and might even, he's actually going to get them out here. Wonderful stuff here from Carnage. The camel should be able to clean these war dogs up pretty easily. But Vahuva actually brings him back, just in case there's more dogs and raiders waiting there and he doesn't want to lose all his early camels. Because in this position he could find that if he does fall behind on the cavalry count, Carnage can push with any cavalry plus the war dogs. Even fight into the camels and just have that numbers advantage that he can win regardless of the counters. So Vahuva's sniping a villager there, so that's good of him not sticking around to take that fight. Like I said, because Carnage has twice as many raiders as there are camels there, and he's got the dogs, the camel bonus damage not really going to be the saving grace. So Carnage did get a huge amount of value out of that, but this is sort of the one map where Egypt is really quite solid on in Age 2 because of the large map, the large rush distance, the likelihood of both players wanting to just expand up this corridor, prep themselves for a good market up here, town center up here, town center here and here. Egypt's actually quite good on it, so Carnage getting that early value out, it's already really undone the benefit of being Egypt on this map. So Norse, a great counter civ on this map because of that little war dog play you can do on a map where players really incentivized to play with split town centers. Carnage just really throwing his chips on the table. He's got hounds and raiders, and so he's going to be able to take a fight here that Vahuva isn't exactly prepped to deal with. There's axemen and camels, but without champion axemen, without champ camel, it's not really a terribly attractive fight because he just doesn't have the camel count to really overwhelm the raiders. So Vahuva not terribly far behind, I don't think. Villager counts as 44 to 36 though, so Carnage is really pumping out higher villagers There's been small gaps in Verhoover's villager production, as well as the fact that Carnage has managed to snipe so many. And yeah, Carnage has got a lot of his army tied up in these no population units, these war dogs here, so he's got the same pop as Verhoover at the moment. He's got 20 war dogs, which take up absolutely zero population space, and they're actually really quite good at fighting the camels. Man, I'm so doing this as soon as the stream finishes. I'm going to jump on ladder, I'm going to play Norse, and I'm just going to build raiders and war dogs. Carnage, what have you done to me? This looks like the perfect way to play the game. GG is called. Verhoover taps out. 10.5 minutes in. Thank you both for playing, guys, and thank you all for watching. Now I'm afraid Crimson, I'm not gonna stick around to fill a game if he is around. But yeah, very hard feelings. Anyway, guys, big thank you to Carnage for filling in. Big thank you for Verhoover to stepping up to play Carnage, the Beast. And guys, I'm gonna catch you later, eh? Thanks for watching.